What's up, guys? Dan Salupo here with Perpetual Fitness. I'm joined by our very special guest, the next edition of our Spotlight Athletes, Melissa Huff. How you doing,
Good.
Melissa? So, a little background on Melissa. She started here about 6 months ago. She has a really awesome, inspiring, cool, crazy story that we'll get into. But just know for right now that she is super committed, super consistent, comes in all the time. She's fun to be around. She embodies a lot of the attributes that what I like to refer to as our core values of the gym. She just embodies a lot of those things on a daily basis. So I'm really excited to allow her to sort of share some of her story with the rest of you guys, and we can get a chance to get to know her a little bit better. So tell us how you got into fitness. Has this been something that you've done? Have you always been into working out, or is this something that's new to you?
No, not at all. I hated even the thought of working out. I was totally not into it at all.
This was for your whole life, or
Pretty
extended
much.
periods of time? Did you like get into things and get out of them, or what?
No, I
Just
didn't do anything. I stayed away from everything.
Okay.
And just was not feeling well for a long time.
Okay.
And went to the doctor, and the doctor literally smacked me, because he's had me since I've been a young adult, and told me that I was diabetic, and if I did not change my ways, I was going to die. And it wasn't going to be like 5-10 years down the road. It was going to be
Soon.
very soon. And he said I was really bad. And I cried my eyes out, and and it was right before Christmas. So of
What
course,
year was this? How long was this?
This was 2013.
2013.
Yes.
So 5 years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know what to do, and put me on medication, and the medication and me just, first of all, don't get along. And everything was either it made me spike really high or drop very low, and to where I almost pass out at work and stuff like that. So he said he wasn't going to take me off. I had to do something other than just take medication. I had to change.
So 6 months in, he's not seeing the changes that he wanted to, and you start walking.
Right.
Okay. And so you started with, he was just one walk. Like, how did you get to that point of just starting with the first walk? The nutritionist?
Well, talking with the nutritionist, telling me that I need to do something, even if it was just walking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took it as, I'm going to do the least amount I can do.
Okay.
And so my sister, who lives in Strongsville near the park, said, she's going to walk with me.
Okay.
And so
Did she go with you on the first one?
she went.
Walk?
Yes, she
Oh,
went
really?
with me on the first walk. Yes.
And what was that walk like?
It was very hard.
Yeah.
I remember just being so out of breath, and I hated it. But then, the next day she's like, you got to do it again. So between her and my should-be sister-in-law, they always made sure that one of them, if not both of them, were walking with me.
Mm-hmm.
It started as 3 to 4 days a week, and then it went up to like 5-6
Cool.
days a week that we
So
would walk.
they kind of held you accountable to
Oh
that
yes,
process.
yes.
Okay.
My sister very much so.
Cool. That always helps.
Yes, because I wasn't.
If they didn't go,
I wasn't gonna
probably
go.
weren't gonna go.
Right.
Okay. All right. So and then how long of a stretch was that for? The walking.
That
And
went.
what did you start with, and where did you?
Well, we started with literally just like almost like a half a mile. Because she lives really close to the to the Metro Park, so it was just a little. She's like, oh, it's just a little bit. She wouldn't tell me how much it was, and then it turned out to be a half a mile. And one of the things my family did is they all pitched in and got me a Fitbit.
Okay.
I'll never forget that either, because it came from all of them, and they just to make sure that there's something else that I can see, visualize,
right.
Right. And then
You're all about the family, huh?
yes.
I'm picking that up.
And then when we ended, it was near the end of September, October, because it got cold. And I will never forget that last walk. Me and my sister-in-law did 10 miles.
10 miles.
10 miles.
She went from a half mile to 10 miles.
Yes, all during that summer. So.
And did you see some results from that?
Oh, I saw results, and it was just different, completely different.
10 miles. That takes you a little bit of time.
It did. We were walking a couple hours.
Wow.
Because I'm not fast at all. So, but I learned to pick it up and stuff, and it's not, Metro Parks aren't flat either.
Right.
So, and then there's this one little hill that I call the Hill of Death because I swear. But by the time September
I know what hill
came,
you're talking about.
by the end of September, I was walking up it without being out of breath, and
that's
that
wild.
just to people that's are like no big deal, but to me it was huge. It was huge. I mean, coming from absolutely nothing to absolutely,
Sure. I think there's a lot of people that would think that is huge, I mean, I think a lot more people would think that's huge than a lot of people that think that that's not a big thing. I really do. So this span is, this takes us basically into the winter time.
Yes, almost a year.
And you dropped some weight at this point.
I dropped some weight at this point. At this point, I've lost 50 pounds.
And so these walks are taking you a while now. What would you have been doing in that time before you were walking? So this was like after work or before work?
They were after work.
After work.
After work.
And what did you used to do after work?
Basically nothing.
Nothing?
I used to, before my daughter graduated, I used to work full-time job, then go work at a second job, being an office manager at her cheer gym because she was a competitive cheerleader.
Okay.
So then I wouldn't get home till like 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. So then I was eating late. Mm-hmm. And then, and I was working there 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. So once my daughter graduated and stuff like that, I had the evenings to myself. Mm-hmm. So, but I basically still didn't, I would just sit and watch TV, or
right.
I wouldn't really do anything, mm-hmm. go visit my mom, because before she used to live like real close to us, now she lives far away, but I used to do stuff like that, but nothing physical, nothing.
Okay. All right, interesting. All right, so what's next? What's next on your journey?
And then January came.
So this is 2016?
Did this 2016, okay. And I knew that I had to, no, 2015. This is 2015. I knew that I had to do something, and the doctor was still yelling at me, saying I need more. Because at this point,
smacking you at this point, or no?
No, he didn't smack me anymore. But then I joined a boot camp.
Okay.
And that's where I started with a challenge there. They're 30-minute workouts, so not a lot of time. I didn't know how to do anything, but after being there, after doing their challenge and stuff like that, and I placed third place on that one, I was amazed at what my ability is, what I could do, and then learning to push myself. And then 3 months in, it was
so now you're starting to see some serious lifestyle
now
changes.
I'm starting to see some serious and I actually put down the Diet Pepsi, and believe, if anybody who knows me from back then,
that's one of your vices?
That would anybody saw me with a 20-ounce Diet Pepsi. That's always I always had a Diet Pepsi, and even that's one thing I still wouldn't give up. Even though I knew I should, I still needed that crutch. Uh-huh. And then just meeting some of the friends that I had met there and stuff like that, leaning, that's where I met Michelle. Uh-huh. And from when she joined like 6 months after me, and just working off of each other and pushing each other. And we did other challenges together there, and she won one and I won a couple and stuff like that.
So how much weight are you down at this point now? From not to today, but like at this time, whatever, 2015, 2016, whatever.
2015, 2016, I was down 85 pounds.
85 pounds?
85 pounds, yes.
That's wild.
Yes.
So that's a whole different life.
That is.
It's a different person.
Yes.
So give us a glimpse as to, so it's like kind of like, you can almost think about it like night and day. night being this dark place that you were in before all of these lifestyle changes. So kind of give us a little bit of insight into that versus this like awakened Melissa that we see, you know, a year, 2 years into this thing. Like, what are some of the differences?
Everything. Like, I didn't know that what I was doing to my body when I was in the dark. I didn't know.
Just unaware.
I was unaware of anything that I was doing, and how much exercise and diet really affects your life.
Yeah.
And it isn't just, you know, physical. It isn't just, you know, eating or looking good or whatnot. It's just how it changes your mindset.
Absolutely.
That just, it completely blows my mind. Because I was, besides just diabetic, I was also depressed. Very, very, very depressed, on medication. And don't know why. It just happens. It happened after I had my son, and just through the years it just escalated or just, you know, continued. But how exercise and diet changes, like 6 months into boot camp, I was no longer on diabetic medication. Took me off medication.
Wow.
Because I said I don't want it anymore. He said he was only going to do it for 3 months, and if he saw anything go up, I was back on it. All he saw is going down. That's all he saw was going down.
Boom! It's almost like this fog. I just envisioned like this fog that was like kind of over your whole clarity, your whole mental strength in terms of life, like depression, you know, the diabetes, the sugar, and the sedentary lifestyle. It's like it was just like a fog.
Right. And I was just,
it's like when that fog lifts, it's like you kick the medicine, you're seeing like all these things that you're capable of doing. You have more energy, all these things.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's amazing that people talk about wanting to go, you know, to the ledges and go rock climbing, or go, you know, down to southern Ohio to the caves and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to sit at home and do nothing,
right.
You know? And now it's like I'm the one that wants to go.
Want to go and do all these things? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so how did you end up here? How did you end up at Perpetual Fitness?
So our time was up. Because you know, you do a commitment, or, you know, at the boot camp or whatnot. And we both wanted to change. I didn't see any major changes the last 6 months I was there.
Okay.
I wasn't dropping any more weight. And talking with, you know, one of my trainers there, and talking with Michelle and talking with my husband, they all thought that, you know, I needed a change. My body needed a change. It just kind of got used to that or something, and, you know, and I just wasn't happy. I wasn't feeling like I was getting a workout really anymore.
Right.
So Michelle was already looking into Perpetual. She was talking with Dawn, and she said, hey, they're doing this challenge for $35. You should check it out, you know. She said, I think I'm going to check it out. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I had no clue what CrossFit was. I had no clue. And she's like, they have this oxygen class that they're just starting. And she's like, it's kind of like the boot
right
camp.
when oxygen was starting. Yeah, you're right.
So she's like, let's just try it. So now it's like, I'd rather do CrossFit than oxygen.
Oh,
so,
yeah, you're into the CrossFit classes. All right, so you come in for that first class. What was that like?
Completely mind-blowing. I'll never forget it.
Mind-blowing?
It really was.
Okay.
Even though it was an oxygen class, well, first of all, the warm-up alone I thought was the workout. Okay, and I'm thinking,
I love hearing that.
I was like, wait a minute, I mean, like, seriously, I worked out for the last 2 years without any problem. Why all of a sudden, like, I'm having this problem just doing a warm-up? And then I was like, didn't realize the intensity.
Right.
And I've never ever picked up a barbell before, and then to pick it was the first day. I'll never forget. It was deadlifts. I don't,
something like empowering about it, isn't it?
Yes, and I remember Nick was there, but Brandon was coaching it. But they both were like, just the amount of time they took to make sure that I was doing it correctly and telling me, don't worry about it, just take it slow. Just
shout to Nick and Brandon.
Yes, and it was just. It really was. It was just, I mean, just the different moves, and then they're talking about doing, what I thought, watching people. You've watched people pick up weights and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, my arm's supposed to do what?
Yeah.
And so just stuff like
it's a whole
that.
New experience for you.
It
Sure.
really was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And then like the people were so friendly from walking in this door.
That's what I'm most proud about.
Walking, I could not believe they're
amazing.
It totally amazed me. Hi, I'm so and so. Hi, I'm so and so, and I'm like, hi, and like they know that this is your first time here, or first or second time here. So helpful.
Super supportive.
Oh my gosh, the support has been unbelievable, just unbelievable, and
yeah, they're really awesome.
Everything about it, everything.
Yeah.
So.
So what has changed in your life since joining here to Petra? What kind of have you noticed any differences in your life, overall lifestyle, whether it's fitness or whatever?
Overall, everything. The major thing that my entire family notices is when I come back from working out, I'm in an awesome mood. I'm very, like, things I wear, I guess I wear my heart on my sleeve. Things, just everything that is going on in my family has, like, worn me down. But
so let me take a minute. So one of the major reasons why she's here with me right now, fought for by all the coaches, she was the top pick, is not only has she been just so consistent and just such a positive asset to this community, but she's been doing it with really going through some stuff. And I'm not necessarily one to our things that are going on in our lives, like we can give them any meaning that we want to. This one is, she's going through some stuff, and in order for her to get here and to show up and put forth the effort that she has, with all these things sort of weighing on her mind, things just coming in to her life that most people fitness would take a back seat. It just would. She fought through all of that and made this commitment to herself, to this place, to her health, and she went through some awesome stuff. So if you could elaborate on that a little bit, as much as you want to, or as little as you want to.
Okay. So, it's been a little over a year. My sister, who was my best friend, just kind of went off the grid, went missing. We didn't know where she was, and to put it in my sister used to own her own business, married. She has a total of 6 children. 2 are in their 20s, and then she has 4 younger ones, 15 and younger. And she walked away from everything. Like, she lost her business, she lost her home, she basically lost everything, including her children, and which we kind of didn't know what was going on. She met with this guy who is still into drugs, and when things got apparently really, really bad, or she may have seen some light or something, we would hear from her, but we would never know where she was, and she would just send like a random text or something. And honestly, we didn't even know if it was her. So that's a huge, and so her ex-husband reached out to me to kind of, the girls, I mean, very, very close family. He had the girls. We didn't see the girls for almost a year. So I started working with him to have the girls, so they could still be part of our family. And so, but what this did to my mom, again, knowing how close we are, I mean, we talk to our mom and each other almost every single day. And then all of a sudden you don't hear from one of your children. I mean, my mom just, and seeing what it's done to my mom, just, it's aged my mom so much. So
things got real bad the past couple months. Right?
Yes. So they came back. They were around somehow. Got involved with police chasing, and he's, we've heard that she's been tied up in motels. It's just been really, really, really bad. To the point where
can't get a hold of her.
Yeah, we cannot get a hold of her. My mom ended up so much stress.
So not even knowing if she's alive, really.
Exactly. We didn't know. After she was, we saw the dash cam video of her actually jumping out of the police car, or jumping out of his car, sorry. The chase actually ended over here. It started in Northfield, and he stabbed himself with a pocket knife or whatnot. But he somehow, got out. He went to the hospital, but somehow walked out of the hospital. I don't know what happened, how it happened, I don't know. All I know is we had we called the police department trying to get information on how we could contact her. They didn't know. But she was not going to be charged because, she was a passenger and she jumped out, and she said that he was, he actually had a needle of heroin stuck in him when they finally got him over here. But it got really bad to the point where my mom got shingles because of all the stress and stuff like that. So it's just very, 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 very hard to see this. So between that and then my daughter, who was expecting at the time, her boyfriend.
They just had the baby, right?
Yeah, she just had the baby this past weekend. Thank you. But her boyfriend, about a month or so ago, just decided he was done, and just up and left.
Month 9.
Yes.
Of the pregnancy.
Yes. And said he wasn't happy anymore.
Opportune time.
But here to come to find out that he is a heroin user.
He is.
So he apparently went back. I don't know, that's speculation, but I don't know. All I know is
there's a lot.
There's so much that's...
There's a lot. And so you were using fitness to sort of...
Yes.
It kind of helped you.
Yes, it did. It helped me a lot. I made
In what
sure...
ways?
Well, one, it got my mind off of everything that's going on. Because I would sit there and, cry and be, one, not knowing where my sister is, two, what she's doing, how it's affecting my mother and dad and stuff like that. So it's, it just, I needed an out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sit at home and just eat, because I still am an emotional eater.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want that. I wanted to, I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
I want to go forward. So
So you just made sure not to take any steps backwards.
Right. And so being here completely cleared my mind, because one, you have to focus on what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, you can't be somewhere else. And
it is a form of meditation doing something like this. It is. Because you really are focusing.
And that's exactly, and that's it. And just how you feel afterwards, and you know the accomplishments that I made in there in the little time I've been here.
Right.
It's
There's so many parallels from what you're able to accomplish to, and it's almost like metaphorical a lot of times, you know,
Right.
just like doing things like jumping on boxes, you know what I mean, jumping over obstacles in life, like it's there's a lot of parallels to be drawn to
Yes.
a lot of that. All right, so I mean, I think it's very inspirational. I think it tells a lot about your character that you've been able to stick with it. In fact, I remember reading somewhere that one of your best qualities is loyalty, dedication, and I think that speaks volumes that you're able to do that throughout this entire process. And I really wanted to just kind of get your story out there, because I think there's a lot of things that you have sort of gone through, been through, are going through that, you know, a lot of people can relate to. And I think you're just an awesome, like, real true life example of doing this and just in this fight and going for it and beating diabetes,
that's
overcoming all this stuff with your family, just being able to be more of a rock for them, how close you are with your family, and doing all these things to make sure that you're able to serve them and be around for them to the best of your ability. I just think it's all just very admirable stuff, and I'm just super proud of you. I'm just very happy and grateful that you're part of this gym. So.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea.
And I know the coaches feel the same way. So.
Oh, everything about it. I'll never forget the first Saturday class, which scared me too. But the time that you took I think there were 4 or 5 of us. And I don't
with the medicine balls?
Yes, with the medicine balls.
I took you guys over to this part of the room?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, what coaches do that? I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Unless you're doing personal training.
Right.
But you literally made sure that we all could do that, because when it was time to do it, you wanted to make sure that we were doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, and that just, I mean, those first few classes were just, I mean, completely eye-opening to the different things that are out there, and I can't speak enough. I mean,
I appreciate you so much. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
So much.
Thanks for watching, guys.